Gentleman from Fairfax, Ms. Fillercorn.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The gentleman has the floor.
Later today, we'll be taking a very important vote that will impact the health of young children and even arguably young men as they grow up. It's important to remember how fast our young girls grow into young women and how the decisions of parents can affect their health in later years. As I look around the General Assembly, I don't see many women. I don't see many moms of school-aged kids either. But I am, and I truly understand this issue, as I have 2 teenagers, and this is a decision that I've been dealing with in recent weeks. While I wear many hats, as we all do here in the General Assembly, the most important to me is definitely that of being a mom. The most important thing to me is keeping my children safe, and I believe so many of you feel exactly the same way as I do. It's not very long ago when I first received information as was described yesterday on the floor of the House of Delegates by my colleague from Enrico that I received from the doctor's office. I appreciated that information greatly, and never did I ever feel that I was forced into vaccinating my children at age 12. And guess what? I decided not to do so at that time when I first received the information. It was my choice. It was my choice, and with the law the way it's written today, it would remain my choice. However, I was pleased, as many of my constituents, as many of you all probably were, to have the information and be informed and decide at a later date that when it was my choice and my decision made with my family, after sufficient research, when I was ready to make that decision and move forward and have my daughter vaccinated. I listened to the debate yesterday that went on for quite some time, a very passionate debate, I might add, about repealing our current law with regard to the HPV vaccine. Some of my colleagues have suggested that the decision whether or not to vaccinate their children, the young girls, had been taken away and would be taken away from the mothers and fathers and the families. That is not accurate information. The current law did not prevent me from making the decision about the health of my child, and it did not force me into making such a decision before I was ready or at any age. And you know what also was very shocking? Actually, I'm sure many of you probably saw the article, but I've learned a great deal in the last couple of days about the effects of HPV. And actually, there was an article today in the LA Times. It wrote that what was written was that the rate of HPV infection can be as high as 42% among women in their 20s. And guess what? Often there's no symptoms whatsoever. That to me was shocking. It's known that persistent infections are the main cause of cervical cancer. Many of us have seen the devastating effects that cervical cancer has caused for women and their families. Now that we know that there's a vaccine that prevents this disease, how can we not educate ourselves and our constituents and all families of the Commonwealth of Virginia and provide that opportunity for our kids, for my kids, for yours, for all the children of the Commonwealth of Virginia? At the end of the day, if a mom or dad or guardian does not wish to have their daughter, or son for that matter, be vaccinated, they can easily opt out. That's the way the law is written currently. They can decide for themselves. It's the choice of the parents, and it will remain the choice of the parents. I would hope that we all take a very long, hard look at the potential impact of our vote that we're about to take today, whether it's truly in the interests of keeping women and our girls healthy. I sincerely hope, for one, that we'll vote against this bill and support the current law, which currently provides the option for parents to decide on their own whether their children should be vaccinated, however, while also providing the education necessary to consider such an option. After all, we all love our children, and our ultimate goal is to keep them healthy and safe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.